Hello, this video is for learning intention 30 and we're going to be looking at our expectation formula a little more. So in the last video we said that the expectation of a random variable is the sum for all x of x times the probability that the random variable equals x. So we had this formula, and these are called our expectation theorems. So these are properties that arise from this formula, and these properties are very useful. So what I want to do is come up with an example of a random variable and then use it to show you that the first one is true, or show an example of the first one. And if you want to know where the rest come from, that can be an exercise for you. You can have a look in the book, or you can memorize these as well. Up to you. So let's look at an example, and I'm going to try to show that this first one is true. That if you have a constant, that you can take the constant out. In other words, I'm trying to show that, say, the expectation of 3x is equal to 3 times the expectation of x. So I want to show that this is true. Is this true? How can I show this? Well, let's do an example. Let's let x be a random variable. Which is the number of heads resulting from flipping 2 coins simultaneously. Alright, so I've defined a random variable and I'm going to try to show that this is true. Well, a good idea would be to draw up our table. And I've been very good. I've been a good student. I've defined what our random variable actually is. So you can either get no heads, you can get 1 head, or you can get 2 heads. And if you draw yourself a quick two-way table, you can either get heads, 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 tails, tails, heads, tails, tails. So let's see, no heads, that's 1 out of 4. 1 head, that's half. 2 heads, that's 1 out of 4. Great, so what? Well, I'm trying to prove that this is true. Alright, well, let's calculate the expectation of x. So let's work out the right hand side of our equation. So the expectation of x, well, that equals 0 times a quarter plus 1 times a half plus 2 times a quarter. So that equals a half plus 2 quarters, which equals 1. Okay, so that's the expectation of x. Therefore, 3 times the expectation of x must equal 3. Okay, let's check the left-hand side. Left-hand side, so the expectation of 3x, well, this time we have to multiply each one by 3. So it'll look something like this. So 3x PR x equals x. So you have to multiply each term by 3. So that'll give us 3 times 0 times a quarter plus 3 times 1 times a half plus 3 times 2 times a quarter, which equals, well, that's 0 plus 3 on 2 plus 6 on 4, and that equals 6 on 2, which equals 3. There we are. So 3 times the expectation of x equals the expectation of 3x, because the left-hand side equals the right-hand side. So I've checked one of those. You can check the rest, or you can look in the book if you're unsure. And if you have been, thanks for watching.